Welcome back to the Game Gallery. Tonight is June 28th, so basically the end of the first half of 2026, and Goldin just auctioned off a Super Mario Brothers sealed Hangtab. So this is a great chance to talk about Hangtabs, black boxes, Super Mario print runs. And if you're new to the channel, this is a podcast for you because we're going to be answering several questions about Super Mario Brothers on NES, including what is a hang tab, what are the codes, how many have been graded by CGC and PSA, are there any recent comps since these are so rare, and is this sale, which reached almost $100,000, either up or down? If you're new to collecting graded games and black boxes, the definitive WATA black box guide was what we had been using for several years. And it's a little tricky to pull up, but this is the main source of information I will be using to describe hangtabs. You can simply Google WATA Black Box Guide, WATA Black Box Guide, and click on the Video Game Sage link. Once you get into there, the top link is actually no good because PSA did away with it. But the second link goes into the Wayback Machine and takes you right to the iconic black box guide, which came out quite a few years ago that I've referenced at least 100 times. And it goes through all the print runs from, let's say, late October 85 to late 1994. So 9 years of releases to the USA market for Super Mario Brothers on NES. So the first question is, what is a hang tab? That's a little bit of a tricky question because technically a hang tab is the small cardboard flip-up tab on the back of the box that allows a retailer to display it on a pegboard in a store or a shop. That's what technically a hang tab is. So it's in the back upper middle of the box. If it's a sealed hang tab, it's going to be shrink wrap most likely, or it would be sticker sealed if it was gloss sticker on the front. And then let's say the quote unquote hang tab print runs after that are going to be covered with shrink wrap. So when we talk about hang tab in the hobby, we're actually talking about print runs following the test market sticker seals, which technically break down to third, fourth, fifth, and sixth print. Even though matte sticker first print has a hang tab and gloss sticker second print also has a hang tab in the box, those, if they're going to be sealed, the hang tab would most likely be intact, unpunched. So the hang tab is built into the box and connected to the rest of the box with very small pieces of cardboard that are very delicate. So today we're really talking about sealed hang tabs, and you could refer those either as third, fourth, fifth, and sixth print, Black Box Marios, or 0 code, 1 code, 2 code, 3 code hang tabs. Basically, matte sticker, gloss sticker, and third print do not have any codes. So third print is your first hang tab, quote unquote, and it doesn't have any codes on the back of the game or the front of the game. So that brings us to codes. What are codes? Codes are little indicators on the box that differentiate print runs, specifically USA Black Box Super Mario print runs, starting with no code, which means at the bottom right side on the back of the box, you will not see NES-GP in all capitals, which refers to Game Pack. That's what they renamed the quote unquote tape or cartridge as we know it, NES cartridge. They started naming a lot of things like the Nintendo Entertainment System, the Game Pack, as Nintendo spread throughout the United States. They started trademarking various brand names to identify various things such as the cartridge, the console, and other things like that. So the first code is NESGP, referring to the Game Pack designation. That's going to be your one code Hangtab or fourth print. Your second code is going to be on the back left upper part of the black box. And for Super Mario Brothers, it's going to say NESP-SM. This is a Nintendo part number, and that's known as a 2 code. The third code is the easiest to check online when you're browsing. You're looking for Super Mario Brothers across the front. Below that, you're going to see Nintendo Entertainment System. And if you see a small, tiny little TM, that's your third code. If you don't see that, you want to take a second look and look at the back of the box because you're looking at something that's going to be fifth print or earlier. So it's really going to be, I would say, early if it doesn't have a third code. The third code refers to trademark, and that's a period of time in between not having something trademarked, like just a sentence, Nintendo Entertainment System, which was just a sentence until, let's say, mid 1987. It was just a sentence to describe the console. And then in mid 1987, it became a trademark that was filed by Nintendo in America. And then I'm not sure when it changed to an R, but I'm guessing probably in the 90s. So it took several years before the government approved the pending trademark into a Circle R, which stands for registered trademark. So basically, you go from no trademark to trademark pending, which stands for TM third code, and then you end up with a registered trademark, which is a Circle R. And the Nintendo Seal of Quality also has TM and registered trademarks as well. Nintendo Entertainment System has no TM, TM registered trademark as well. So those are your codes. No code, one code NESGP, part number is code 2, NESTM is code 3. And that's how you can refer to the different hang tabs, although I don't think the market really gives different valuations for one code versus 2 code versus 3 code. But in the market in general, you're going to see more 3 codes. You're going to see less 2 codes than 3 codes, less 1 codes than 2 codes, and you're almost going to see no 0 codes or basically the third print sealed hang tab. That's pretty much a ghost. So that brings us to the next question. How many sealed hang tabs are out there? How rare are these? Well, if you pull up the PSA population report, it's open to the public. You don't have to register. Click on Nintendo Entertainment System, type in Super Mario, and click on Super Mario Bros. You'll see that there's only 2 sealed gloss stickers, no matte stickers, and 0 third print, 0 code hang tabs. So for the first 3 print runs, there's only 2 sealed copies. After that, you've got your 1, 2, 3 code hang tabs at, let's say, 7, 11, and 12. So that gives us 23, exactly 30 sealed PSA hang tabs, quote unquote, as of, let's say, the first half of 2026, going back over, let's say, 5, 6, 7 years of grading data. What about CGC? It's even more scarce. I could only find one hang tab in the CGC Pops, which you can pull up at gamegallery.net. Um, these are built by Ponton. Thank you very much for your hard work. These should be current. I do see a round SOQ Rev A. Other than that, it's all ovals except one round SOQ NESP-SM. So that's going to be the Nintendo part number, which would be a 2 code Hangtab. And also, there's a Canada Hangtab listed, which we're not going to talk about today. Have you seen any other CGC Hangtabs besides this 2 code? So if you scroll all the way to the right, you'll see there's only 2 Hangtabs at CGC. There's like a 9.2 A plus and an 8.5. It doesn't break down the seal rating. It's just an 8.5, I guess. So for total population, PSA and CGC, you're looking at 32 Hangtabs still sealed out of, let's say, at least 300 black box Marios printed over 9 years. And the Hangtabs themselves were really only printed for 1 year, mid 86 through mid 87 in a 9-year cycle. So you could probably call them early, even though they might be described as mid in some of the auction sites. Let's see, Goldin didn't really say early or mid on the title, which I think is good. But it was a 9.2 A plus WADA copy that went off tonight for 97.6. Price of a small little condo in America, maybe price of a house in many parts of the world. So VGA, I didn't check, but I'm guessing most of the VGA sealed Hangtab Super Marios have been crossed to PSA or WADA. And if it's in a WADA case, if you're new to the hobby, automatically you can convert a WADA to a PSA case, actually label, and you can maintain everything intact. The box grade stays the same. The seal grade stays the same. You're simply just doing a recasing. So PSA guarantees to cross over all WADA graded games to the same exact grade if you want to get PSA. So what about comps? Is this something we can look up, even a 9.2 A plus? We know a 9.8 A plus went off at Heritage Signature a couple weeks ago for over $500,000, but is there anything kind of in the low to mid range of the nines? And I looked at back at Goldin, and I did find 2 similar comps from last year, 2025, August. There was a $74,000 9A WADA. That's pretty big number right there, 75,000. Compare that to a 9.2 A plus. It seems like we're just in line because it's only 25,000 more, plus you get that A plus seal rating. So it doesn't seem like it's up a whole lot at Goldin, but if you look at the CGC copy that sold in June of 2025, it only did 62 grand and it was a 9.2 A plus, same grade. NESP-SM, I believe that's a 2 code. The one that went off for Goldin today was also a 2 code or a 1 code. Yeah, it was also a 2 code. So they're identical. They were identical. So if you're using that data point, the 62,220, we are way up versus the CGC. That probably has something to do with the CGC um, factor in terms of valuations, and then also the bump from the $3 million Mario. But what about Heritage? Is there anything similar? Besides a 9.8 A plus, there was a 9.4 A plus PSA 1 code. So it's earlier and a higher grade, and it went off for 175, which is almost 2x, not quite. So that seems in line with that November 2025 data point. Other than that, can't really find anything else comparable. There's a bunch of 8s that went off in the high 20s to high $30,000 ranges. And then you have to go way, way, way back to find anything even close. 96A 2022 did 720,000. I really can't find. 94A did 500,000 in October 2021, the peak. And then a 96A plus in early 2021 before peak bubble did 660,000. So sealed hang tabs have a hallowed herald history at Heritage. That's a tongue twister for sure. And there's not a whole lot of data in the nines. There's not a lot of hang tabs in the nines. We had one CGC on the pop report in the nines. Let's see how many nines we have over here at PSA's pop. 9.0 or above. 2, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10. There's only 11 copies. So there's a dozen sealed hang tabs on the market. First half of 2026, maybe not on the market. Had been in the market, it would be less than 12 because probably a lot of these are in tight hands. It's not a lot of population compared to other hobbies out there. So is this up or down? I would say it's slightly up based on comps and ratios. I wouldn't say it's completely stonking. And for me personally, in my opinion, I think the reason is it went off in a random Golden 100 auction that didn't really have any other video games in it. And I don't think it was pumped on social media much. And the big factor was that it was in a WATA case. So I think the buyer could probably put this in a PSA case, wait a year, 2, 3, 4, 5, bring it back to market, and probably make some money. So play life like a video game. If you see a sealed hang tab or even a CIB hang tab, and it does not have the tiny TM on the front of the box after Nintendo Entertainment System, take a good hard look at everything on the label, read all the components, read for any grader notes listed on the back of the label for PSA and CGC. Make sure you know what you're bidding on. Look at your codes, determine if it's a 0123 code, and bid hard, bid strong. The market is up. Good luck bidding out there.